Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done one of these reviews, which is the Star Wars review. This is my third take now, because I keep making mistakes or say things that they're not like bad or anything, but it just sounds weird and it's not the way I meant it. So, um, moving on, but to introduce you to what we're going to be reviewing today, if you couldn't tell by the title, it's right up here somewhere. We were reviewing Star Wars: The Black Series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Fourth Sister. And here's the front, back on the side, you got that. On the other side, you got that. You got this. I'm not going to read this because it is just a description of the show and not the character. Granted, this character is pretty new. The Inquisitors are not new, which he is. I mean, Inquisitors, I guess, in recent Star is new compared to the large extent of Star Wars history, but not to brand new Star Wars history. Or not. That's not what I mean. What I mean is not not old in terms of like Star Wars as a brand, because they were introduced in Rebels. So I know some people's first interaction with them is the freaking Jedi Survivor, and I'm glad you played that game. I wasn't able to play that game. I think it would be too hard for me. I'm gonna be honest. I think that game would be too difficult for me. Um, I like. I kind of just like very plain and easy games, and that's just because I don't want to get frustrated, because I can get easily frustrated with things, and I don't want that. So I think that game would be too hard for me. Though I do know they have very easy mode, so maybe it wouldn't be that bad. I don't know. Point is, no, that is not when they are first introduced. They are first introduced in Rebels, if not the Darth Vader comics. Now, I haven't read all the Darth Vader comics, but I know the stories here and there. Um, Basically, to give a brief rundown of the Inquisitors, if you don't know that much about them, um, in the, I guess, semi-early days of the Empire, they needed to track down any Jedi survivors. Hence the title of that video game. And obviously, if they're dangerous enough and stormtroopers can't handle them, you need somebody who can actually handle a Force user. Um, and if it's not Darth Vader, you gotta have someone that's at least comparable. So obviously there are like special forces, but then there is the Inquisitors, whose main task is to hunt down / recruit surviving Jedi, I guess, because a lot of times they would try to get new Inquisitors. So, and a lot of them sometimes have rightfully had hatred towards the Jedi Order, um, but we won't get into that. Point is, they've been around for a while. I remember when the Grand Inquisitor first showed up in Rebels. There's a whole bunch of them that are in the comics, and only so many of them from the comics have shown up in in a show or media. Obviously, the Darth Vader comics are not, it's not like a separate thing from the movies. It's just you've only seen so many of them outside of those comics. You, of course, will see Second Sister and Ninth Sister from Jedi Survivor, but they actually first show up in those comics, believe it or not, which is kind of crazy. And Second Sister didn't even really do that much in those comics. You just see her for a brief moment, and then I guess they expanded upon her through the Survivor series, and then you do see the ones from Rebels show up, I think, occasionally, and there's some other ones that like die in the comics in various different ways, but this one did not appear in the comics. I do not believe. I think she was first. She first showed up in the Kenobi series, which works fine by me. But the Grand Inquisitor and Fifth Brother are first showed up in Rebels, I believe. Third Sister, aka Reva, is also first introduced to us in Kenobi. So, anyway, here is Fourth Sister. I forget what alien species she is, which is not helpful. If you do know, I know it's not a Twi'lek or anything like that. Twi'leks are, what like Ayla Secura are, in case I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, but you know, it it's an alien species, so um, that you see a lot of in Star Wars. So, but here she is, all in her Inquisitor glory. So let's take a look at her one accessory. Technically three, because obviously the blades can come off. Okay, you were a pain to get into the hand. Now you're going to be a pain getting out of the hand. That's lovely. So part of that is, so it's just a standard Inquisitor blade. They all have like a little bit of a difference, but this one seems to have more black on it. But part of the problem is that if you see right there, there's two little pegs right there, and they go. I mean, obviously you would detach the blades, but you can. There's two little slots in the back, and you can. Should be able to, stick it in there, and stick the lightsaber hilt in there, and then so because that's how they store their blades, unless you're some of the more unique ones. So let's take a look at her. I don't know the actress's name who played her, but it looks pretty much like the character, which is what you want. You got the standard affair for the Inquisitor look, all black, all uniform. You've got little details here and there. You got like spikes all on here. You've got the Imperial logo on both sides. Some gizmos and gadgets on the arm and whatnot, and then you've got the belt. There's not really much on the belt. All nicely like detail and stuff like that. Obviously, with Star Wars characters, like even though their costumes are elaborate, they're pretty much just like normal people in a sense. So, or like they're just kind of like military or something like that. So, and then you've got this little skirt piece which has this red outline all the way around, and parts in the back. The legs have some nice wrinkles on them, and then the boots have some little lines in there. So, but let's take a look at the articulation. So there's a head joint, and then there's also a neck joint, which allows her to look that far up, that far down, side to side, and tilt. Though I would say this much: be very careful with the tentacles. So she's got shoulder joints, which are very tight on mine, and I think they've got a little butterfly motion in there. They allow the arm to go that far up. She's got a swivel at the elbow and a single jointed. I gotta be careful with that. I don't like that elbow that goes that far up. And then I think both hands go up and down and they swivel. She's got a diaphragm joint and a waist joint that allow her to, or I think at least that diaphragm joint that allows her to crunch that far forward, that far back, side tilt, and I think they can. Oh no, it's just a diaphragm joint. Back and swivel. Okay, I think I've been reviewing too many McFarlane figures. Her legs can kick out that far. They can kick back that far. She's got upper thigh cut, and she's also got a swivel at the knee and a single knee joint that allows her to bend that far forward. No boot cut. The angles go that far down, go that far up, and she's got ankle pivot. So yeah. Now that we have that established, let me get this lightsaber in her hand. and then we can do some comparisons. So let's first do a comparison against the first enemy that she has, at least in canon, that we know of, which is Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think he's slightly taller than her. So yeah. And, you know, I'm just getting them back to the poses I have because it's easier. But we also need to show her alongside her allies. And our closest allies. Sorry if there's so much dust on some of these. Though I don't dust my collection enough, unfortunately. Here is second sister. Okay. Which I think honestly could use a lot of improvement, but and not the character, the action figure has some issues, at least with regards to the cape. And then of course here she is next to the leader of the Inquisitor. Well, I guess when Vader's not around, the leader of the Inquisitors, the Grand Inquisitor. So yeah. So well, that does it for this review. Hopefully I can get more Star Wars reviews in the future. And yeah. Also hopefully more Marvel Legends in the future. But I hope you did enjoy this review. And I will like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.